Welcome back to Better Living. We go from clothes to money, two things that I really like in my life. It is time for Better Retirement with Citizen Advisory Group. Jeff Bucher is here, the president of said company, and we're going to talk today about diversification. It's a hard word to say.
It's a hard word to say. We've been bumbling around on it all morning, right?
How important is that when we're investing our money?
Well, it's one of the keys to investing, and for many people, we've heard about it, our whole life.
Right.
Don't put your eggs in one basket, they tell us, and so we've got to diversify the money. But it can be very confusing of what that actually means. I know at our firm, we believe that diversification means slightly different than what maybe is heard around elsewhere, because we just take it a few steps further than the average advisor. But I think it's so important that we do that because it does several different things for your money. And when the markets are at all-time highs, or we think back to 2008 when
Yes.
they're at lows, we start to really try to evaluate, are we doing the right thing with our money? And diversification is one of the biggest keys.
And it's those times when it becomes even bigger. Either way, let's talk. We have a slide that shows the lovely Easter, or the Easter bunny. That's the thing we've always heard.
Well,
don't put all your eggs in one basket. So let's talk about some specific benefits of diversifying our investments.
Well, I always say that Mama told us how to invest, so she told us don't put all your eggs in one basket. And so the first thing it does is reduce the risk of loss. So by spreading the money into different types of investments, if we see something major issue with a certain company or industry, it reduces our chances that we're going to lose all of our money or a big chunk of our money. At the same time, this is kind of on a similar theme, it reduces the volatility, meaning when we get that monthly statement, what is the up and what is the down look like? By having a diversified portfolio, it kind of smooths out the ride a little more. It doesn't completely eliminate it, but at least a little more. And then it protects your capital from those wild swings. So you think back to a 2008 U.S. stock market went down 37%. Many people lost 30, 40, 50% of their money. Well, by having a diversified portfolio, maybe you wouldn't have lost as much, and that wild swing wouldn't have given you the heart attack that you had maybe when you opened your statements back in those times.
I went through a phase where I wouldn't let my husband open the envelopes when they came.
You mentioned
Because he wasn't, seriously, I couldn't even deal with him. Not even worth it.
And we would have people come in the office and they would hand me their statements and they were all unopened, and I would always have to ask permission if they said, here's my stuff, and I'm am I allowed to open that or what? So that fear, by diversifying, maybe it can smooth out the ride a little bit and it won't be as bad.
That is always a good thing. Do you have some examples of what a diversified portfolio might look like?
Well, we all know that we can't put, again, those eggs in one basket. So we talk about stocks, for instance. Many people, big Wall Street firms, many individual investors, we think that diversification means we own many different stocks. And really what studies would tell us, what the Ivy League institutions, which we watch very closely what they're doing with their money, because they're kind of smart.
Yes, they are. Turns out.
They're kind of smart. And so we watch what they do. And what we learn is, U.S. stocks, for instance, big U.S. stocks, they all kind of react similarly. So just because I own maybe Google or McDonald's and maybe 30 other different big U.S. companies doesn't really mean I'm diversified, because when big U.S. companies do good, they do good.
They all do good.
And when big U.S. companies do poorly, they do poorly. And so that's where we start to get into some other types of things. So we all know this, stocks and bonds. We've heard that one. U.S. and foreign, potentially. We've heard that. Big companies and little companies. We know that one. But then our firm, we take it a step further, and I think for the individual investor, we need to look at some of these other things, like hard assets. Well, what is that? Real estate, the precious metals like gold and silver, and commodities like wheat and corn and coffee and oil. And that's what brings true diversification to a portfolio, when we start to look at all the other types of things we can add into an investment. So, we look at the Yale allocation that's on the screen, and what we find is over time, back in the 80s, very heavily in the U.S. equities, in the U.S. stock market, and over time what you're seeing is they have far less and less and less U.S. equities. Why is that? Because they're finding that they don't need to take that much risk to get the returns that they're looking for.
When the color blocks all are more similar in size, that makes sense that you've got your money spread out then.
Right. If you look at that 1985 line, if the U.S. stock market has a problem, you're still going to have a problem, even though you do have some money in some other areas. But by, again, spreading that out, if the U.S. stock market has a problem now to Yale, it's not going to be as significant as maybe it was back in the 80s.
Well, and we have the next slide shows they've done fairly well over the last 10 years.
Right. If you look how, what Yale has done over the last 10 years, it shows that not only did they outperform stocks, but they also outperformed bonds. So that blended mix, they outperformed. And that's what you find in a diversified portfolio. You end up getting increased returns at the same time you're reducing your risk. And that's kind of the power of what blending them all together. It's kind of counterintuitive to people, but if I take two very risky investments and I put them together, I actually reduce the risk of that investment because they're not going to work in tandem.
That makes sense.
And so
but you're right, I would never think of that.
Most people don't think of that. And so that's why you can start to add things into your portfolio that, again, reduce the risk, reduce that volatility, but it gives you a greater chance to make more money.
We've only got just a second, well, more than a second left. But I want to talk about the dates that you have upcoming because you guys are doing a seminar to talk more about this.
Yep. So we have the investment seminars that come up each and every month. You can find them on our website at citizenadvisory.com. But in April, we've got the 21st at Mance's Italian, the 23rd at Rockwell's, and the 28th at Final Cut at the casino.
I've eaten there. It's really good.
It's great.
But that's one thing. There is food, and so you've got to RSVP, and you need to do it now because they fill up really fast.
They fill up very quickly, and we have a great meal and a great educational workshop, and it's a wonderful night.
All right. Well, if you need to learn about diversification, which you do, because we all need to, citizenadvisory.com. You can get those dates and get RSVP. We'll be right back.